Hi, everybody. This is Mark Rivera, GenreOnlinenet on YouTube, and this is a review of the first episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. This series is the result of a collaboration between creators Scott M. Gimple, actress and executive producer, co-creator Danai Gurria, and actor, co-creator, and executive producer Andrew Lincoln for AMC. The series takes place approximately 5 years after the events of Rick being presumed dead and having his body taken by Jadis as a bargaining tool to be accepted into the Civic Republic, or CRM as they call it. Now, this new series is, as far as I know, intended to be a limited series, but it's always possible that they may return for another season, although nothing is guaranteed. And if it came between one good season of a television show or several bad seasons of a TV show, I'll take one season anytime. So, the show basically centers upon what happened to Rick in the time in between where he is presumed dead and the current state of where he is at the Civic Republic. Now, one thing I gotta tell you from watching the show, boy, is it great to see Andrew Lincoln back, because for me, he was the show. Rick Grimes will always be the heart of that show for me. And it never ceases to amaze me just to see how great of an actor he is. I mean, people can be talented in many things, but he just brings so much gravitas into his role that, quite honestly, I can't believe that I watched The Walking Dead without him. I know I certainly stopped buying the Blu-ray discs once he left the show, because I kind of felt like he was the show. When he left, I thought to myself, I would have ended it before he left, you know? I would have ended it at the very end when they told Negan, hey, we're going to keep you alive, that sort of thing. To me, that was a more interesting ending than what we eventually got. Although I'm sure, let's just say, a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's okay. And everyone is entitled to their own opinion, whether you agree with me or not. Now, besides the return of Danai Gurria as Michonne, and of course Andrew Lincoln and Rick Grimes, the series will feature Terry O'Quinn coming in as Major General Bill of the Civic Republic military. And Terry O'Quinn, for those of you who are already familiar with him, has been in a number of genre programs, going all the way back to his big screen debut, or at least the big screen review that I think most people will remember him by, playing the stepfather in both The Stepfather and The Stepfather 2. However, he has gone on, especially in television, to appear in a number of science fiction programs ranging from Earth 2, Millennium. He also had an appearance in The X-Files Fight the Future. And of course, he's very memorable for his role in Lost. So bringing in Terry O'Quinn is a terrific thing, because his character comes off as both a very smart man, and yet he's also disarming because he has a fatherly way about him. So when his character looks at Rick and says, I'm going to ask you a question, and I only want you to tell me, but because I'm just going to look in your eyes, you see that type of sharpness to the character. The show also features Leslie Ann Brandt as Pearl Thorne, actor who I feel really should have not been taken out so quickly, though dramatically I understand why. Craig Tate as Donald Okafor. What a great character, and his interactions with Rick really give one an idea of what the burdens are for survival in this post-apocalypse type society. Pearl Thorne, who's played by Leslie Ann Brandt, she's a South African survivee, and she's kind of in the same boat as Rick, and seeking to get citizenship within the CRM, and she doesn't want to get involved in anything that Rick is getting involved in, And so she's not an antagonist, but she is looking out for herself. And at the same time, she's looking out for Rick so that Rick does not make a mistake and screw things up for himself even worse. It's no secret that he loses his hand in the first episode. It happens relatively quick. But that really didn't have an effect upon me because, I was expecting that. I've read the comics, and it's been long already been a spoiler that's been revealed that he's going to lose his hand. And it's done in a very good way. Another scene I particularly like is when they're dealing with the walkers and they have this sort of big brick gate, and they're all there with these pitchfork-like things that are basically impaling the walkers that come up in the head. And at one point, one walker just literally lunges at Rick and almost gets a hold of him. And what I liked about that was the fact that it shows you that the dead are still a threat. I mean, there's another scene later on where, when you least expect it, one of the dead grabs Rick's arms and bites into it. Obviously, for the show to go on, Rick's bite was probably very padded, and it wasn't like what happened to Carl. But nevertheless, it just goes to show you once again that the dead are always a threat in The Walking Dead. The effects for the show are great. I love the music, which is very, very laid back. I mean, what I mean by that is that it's not it's not a tune that you can groove to or hum to, that sort of thing, but it's a tone that you can truly appreciate because it just sounds like militaristic. It's like brum bum bum bum, something like that, but with better rhythm than I'm giving you. I really enjoyed it. So, what are my thoughts? In my opinion, it's worth checking out. It's so far, I was very pleased with the first episode because it basically told me that not only is the show just how great the show is when you bring somebody of the caliber of acting like Andrew Lincoln back into the TV series, but also it tells me that we have a lot to look forward to, and it's certainly only going to get more interesting from there.